Most of what you describe as fairy tale is really the truth according to the view from a broader perspective. There is a tale of Humpty Dumpty, who sat atop a wall and had a great fall, shattering into pieces, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. This nursery rhyme is a reflection of the human condition. The wall represents the pre-physical top of the wall perspective that we held before coming into this world, and the fall signifies the experience of a spiritual being taking on a physical existence. The inability of all the king's horses and all the king's men to put Humpty back together again symbolizes the fleeting nature of the things we value in this world, and their inability to truly fulfill us. We are all fragments of God participating in the great realization, becoming, remembering, and learning who we really are. If I say you are becoming what you already are, then my remark to the logical mind sounds meaningless, for if you already are, how can you become what is already accomplished? In larger terms, however, what you are is always vaster than your knowledge of yourself, for in physical life you cannot keep up with your own spiritual activity. When you ask, "What is my soul?" you are seeking for a meaning apart from what you already know about yourself. So we see that who you are, in totality, is presently largely unknown to you, and in that context, you are becoming what you already are. This is true for us as a collective and as individuals as well. We were born as blank slates, and over time we learn more about ourselves. Our journey is always about closing this gap. Imagine a star like our sun radiating with electromagnetic waves. These electromagnetic waves are photons that are going in and out. Imagine being a photon that suddenly recognizes, hey, I'm a photon and I'm traveling through space, and it looks back, and it realizes that it's part of a continuous stream of energy that's coming from a source. It sees all of these others that look like independent, unique, individual photons going out in all directions. You look back and you recognize that you are that star because the star isn't just a fixed object in space. Our sun isn't just the ball we see, it's the entire energy expanding out in all directions. So the ability to recognize that you are a particle, part of the collective quantum cosmic consciousness, and recognizing that in the same way that a photon is a small portion of the sun, you are God in human form. This human form has a limited lifespan which requires proper food and lifestyle conditions, but it's not separate from the whole. It's a separate life form in the third dimension, but as far as consciousness, in the grand scheme of things, all things came from the same source. There's one phenomena of life on this planet with hundreds of trillions of forms. We are one of those forms capable of becoming conscious of ourselves as individuals, and then fully conscious of ourselves as part of the collective phenomena. You were created in the image and likeness of God, but our state, as long as we become humans, is a state of amnesia, believing we are separated individualities pinched off from the whole. Before we enter this world, we exist in spirit form as consciousness without a physical body. When we take on a body vehicle to experience incarnation in this dimension, we experience a process called fetal integration, which causes template distortions that affect the body pattern in this dimension. These template distortions mean that when our consciousness intertwines with the DNA template and gene code of the body, the DNA template effectively shuts off approximately 90% of our consciousness. The rest of our true selves, the part that existed before we entered fetal integration, remains unchanged. However, we cannot access this part of ourselves because the body and the egoism passed down through our genes and culture serve as a light switch, turning off most of our consciousness. As a result, we cannot bring the memory of ourselves as a spirit directly into our human experience. If we were able to embody our full consciousness as a human being, we would have access to a minimum of 12 dimensions of consciousness, not just the limited three-dimensional reality field we experience. Therefore, it is essential to understand the limitations imposed on our consciousness by the body and culture we inhabit. By doing so, we can work to transcend these limitations and access our full potential as human beings. Jump DNA refers broadly to any DNA sequence that does not play a functional role in development, physiology, or any other organism level capacity. Simply put, modern science thinks it has no use because it is not yet observed to be tied to any particular functions. But in that so-called jump DNA lies the whole of who we are in the other 12 dimensions of consciousness. Much as a computer stores data, your DNA is a conduit for your full consciousness stored as a multidimensional electromagnetic program within the subatomic particle structure of your cells.